Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Kaylin and I am a DCP alumni for Spring Advantage of 2019. I was a front desk cast member at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort and I'm here to tell you guys all about everything you need to know with front desk as a role for the CP, as well as everything that it entails. So I have everything written on my phone and there's a lot, so we're gonna try to get through all of it. And if you guys have any other questions after watching this video, feel free to reach out to me, comment down below, message me on Instagram. I'd love to answer your questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. I've actually had some people message me and ask me what type of questions I was asked on my phone interview when I was interviewing for the DCP. She asked me situational questions such as if you were working front desk at the Boardwalk Inn and a newly engaged couple asked you where to eat, what would you say? And it's a lot of questions mainly pertaining to what you know about the Disney resort and how much you know about it. So if you're really interested in the front desk role, make sure you capitalize in your interview about what you know about the property, because that's going to be a main selling point. So let's go ahead and get into everything that happens when you get to your DCP. So after your traditions class, you will have Welcome to Operations, which is basically a 5-hour class teaching you how to lift a box properly. And that is definitely the one that will probably drag on the most. But after Welcome to Operations, you have Welcome to Resorts. And Welcome to Resorts is, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone. Welcome to Resorts is where you learn everything that's fun about being in a resort, everything that entails with being in a resort. So it's not just going to be front desk people, it's also going to be people that are in quick service, custodial, merchandise. Everybody that's going to be at a resort is going to be in Welcome to Resorts. And you're basically just going to learn that resorts are actually pretty cool. And then after your Welcome to Resorts training, you have what's called Destination Concierge. Now, when I was doing my training, I got there at a weird point in time because that was when cashier and concierge were merging and now they are just one role, so it's not separate anymore. And Destination Concierge is basically where you learn how to check somebody in, use all the different systems, you learn how to make dining reservations, fast passes, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and Pirates League reservations, things like that. And trust me, it's gonna seem like a lot at first, and I honestly didn't know if I was gonna be able to remember all of it. You are learning about 6 systems, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's gonna seem a lot more scary than it actually is. And I promise you it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. I'm so sorry if the lighting's different. My camera battery died, so let's go ahead and just get back into what I was saying. So Destination Concierge training lasts about, I want to say 4 or 5 days now. When I did it, it was about 3 days, and then you went back to your resort, then went back for training. It was a whole mishmash of things. So now you're just in training at Disney University for Destination Concierge for about 4 or 5 days, and then you do on-the-job training at your actual location. And this will last about anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. I know each resort is different. Personally, at Caribbean Beach, I was in training for about a week with my trainer, and then with concierge, I was in training. When you put it all together, between cashier and concierge training, I was in on-the-job training at Caribbean Beach for about, I would say, 2 weeks. And then that is the bulk of your training. And then at the end, you have a verbal assessment, you have a written assessment, and then you also have a leader watch you do a check-in to make sure that you know everything that there is to know about doing a check-in in a Disney resort, and just to make sure that you kind of know what you're doing and make sure that everything is all good. So that's the first part of your training with front desk. After you do your assessments, and you do about a month or so by yourself, and this will depend on your location, but at Caribbean Beach, everybody was runner trained. And I know at other resorts, I know at Yacht and Beach Club, you're automatically trained for runner. At Port Orleans Frenchport, I know you had to sign up to be runner trained, and I believe at Pop Century it was the same thing. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how it worked. And runner essentially is you are sitting in the back and you are logging packages, you are helping with magical moments, you are helping with celebrations, everything like that. You're pretty much just there to make sure that everybody is sane and everybody gets their things that they've ordered. Personally, for me, runner was my favorite, and I got a lot of runner shifts. I mainly did closing runner, and that was a 3 to 11 shift, and that brings me into my next point. Hours. So hours for CPs, you're gonna hear me say a lot of this during this video, but a lot of this will vary depending on your location, and that's the main thing. Location, location, location. I'm gonna keep bringing up Caribbean Beach, but obviously that's where I worked, so that's what I'm gonna reference a lot. For your hours, I usually averaged anywhere from about 35 to 40 hours during a normal week, and during peak season I want to say it was like 45. Now that cashier and concierge have merged, there's so much more that people can do. I know when I first started my CP, we had what was called arrivals, so you stood in the lobby with an iPad and you would bring guests to the front, assist in their check-ins. If they were online check-ins, you could just go and help them over to their room and anything else they needed. But you can do arrivals, you can do desk, you can do runner, you can do a bunch of different things. So yeah. And one thing that is really cool about the front desk role is you are universally trained, so you can pick up at any resort that you would like to. And I did pick up at a bunch of different resorts. Oh, I wouldn't say a bunch. I picked up at about 3 or 4 resorts. No, 3. I picked up at about 3 resorts, and I enjoyed all of my shifts, and it was really cool to experience different leadership styles and get to wear different costumes, and it's definitely a lot of different experiences. And then we'll go ahead and get it. Let me move over a little bit because I'm going to put the pictures of me and my costumes right here. So I was obviously a front desk cast member at Caribbean Beach, and here's a picture of me in my costume. I also got to pick up at Port Orleans French Quarter. I was able to pick up at Beach Club, and I was able to work at All-Star Sports, and I did get deployed there. One thing I did not know, but CPs, whenever, and this is not just specific to front desk, this can be for anybody, but for CPs mainly, if say one location is short staffed and doesn't have a lot of people, they will pull CPs from their locations to go work there. So I did get deployed to All-Star Sports for 2 days. Don't worry, it's not bad at all. I actually really liked working there, and everyone there was super nice. They were so willing to help, and 10 out of 10. Going back into the hours thing, what I think a lot of people don't really talk about is how much you're going to work on your CP, and I was aware of it whenever I accepted my college program. I was like, okay, I'm here to work. I understand that. However, I don't think I was fully prepared for exactly how much hours I was going to be working. And, you know, I got used to it, and it was my job, and I loved my job. So I would just say prepare for that. But if you are definitely going to be a CP, especially a front desk CP, the amount of hours you work is going to be so worth it for the amount of magical moments you get to make and the amount of family's vacations you get to be a part of. It's so awesome. The last thing I'm going to talk about is making friends on your CP. So if you are going to be a front desk cast member, definitely be prepared to not have a lot of CPs working with you. Now that doesn't mean you're not going to make friends. Don't worry. Like, I made a lot of friends at my location, and I still talk to these people to this day. And you saw in the thumbnail, 4 people that are in the thumbnail with me, those are the CPs that were at my location. It was Andy, Gabby, Kaylin, and me. And we were all there for the spring term, and then it was just me and Caitlin for the summer term. So making friends with other CPs, you might find a little bit difficult, and if that's what you're after, then definitely branch out to other departments. I know there were some people in quick service that I knew, people in merchandise, and there's also other departments such as recreation, bell services, other things like that. So don't worry. I know Tia mentioned in her video that there weren't a lot of CPs at where she worked, and honestly there's not a lot of CPs at the front desk, period. Front desk is a very not common role with the college program. I want to say someone told me that there's about 90 CPs altogether for front desk, and when you put that all together, like, that's not a lot of people considering how much people participate in the Disney College program, and that's including people that extended from fall and got it for their extensions and things like that. So I'd say it's a pretty cool experience to get to be a front desk cast member, considering it's such a sought after role. And honestly, I wouldn't trade my CP for the world. I loved being a front desk cast member, and I wish I could go back because I miss it so much. I miss it every day, and I will never not talk about my CP because it was one of the highlights of my college career, and I'm gonna insert meme here. It defines who I am. I think that's all I'm going to talk about for front desk training in this video. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, like I said, just message me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!